I wouldn't say it's the longest, but the most intense probably. My name is Marga Crespi. I'm a synchronized swimmer, artistic swimmer now. My sporting career was, I started actually really little practicing artistic swimming when I was in the island in Mallorca. But when I was 15 years old, I moved to Barcelona. I moved to the training center to join the national team. So basically, once I joined, it was pretty hectic. They were already winning medals. So 2009, we get world champions in Rome. 2012, we obviously qualified for the Olympics, win the bronze medal in the Olympics. Until my career finishes in 2014, when we win two medals still in the European Championships. So 10 years basically of athletic career. I had the time to think about it. It obviously was my choice for circumstances like I didn't like the coaching stuff was going, I wasn't feeling comfortable. And at the same time, I felt it was the perfect timing to try something else. I don't know what was it at the time, but I did choose that and I did prepare mentally because obviously you get so many comments always on what you're going to do next. What you're going to do next? Are you going to study? So in my mind, I kind of knew like, okay, facing that moment where your life turns normal. What happens next is Marga thinks that she's going to have a normal life and she's going to study primary education and having roommates in Barcelona, but then gets an offer to go to Cirque du Soleil for 2 months in Montreal to do the formation. And that's when I start to meet a new world, which is the show world. So I go to Montreal. It's amazing. I get to know so many artists. I realize that there's another world here that I can actually work off. And the problem is I get hurt, I get injured. So I go back home. But then doesn't stop me of keep asking and keep searching for opportunities until I actually find a year later an opportunity to go to work to Las Vegas to the other water show that is called, it was called Le Ref at the Hotel Wynn. When you're in your athletic career, you have a structure, you have a day-by-day routine. When you leave that world, you are definitely scared because obviously the normal path was just like study and just, get your career and just work. But once I started to know Cirque du Soleil, the other shows, then I realized that I'm not meant to maybe have a normal career. So during that period of time that I'm waiting, I started to get offered to actually go coaching around the world. So I do go to Dominican Republic. I actually start to collaborate with Colombia and Duet to start their dream of qualifying for Rio 2016. So actually I really get into it because I just retired as an athlete. So I still have so much to share that then I just get excited about it. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know what's coming next. Obviously, I want the show. I want to work in the show. But during that time, let's just travel and basically give what I learned about my sport, just give it back to someone that might need it. It felt like I left one team in 2014. And then you join another team of amazing, not just performers and swimmers, but also friends. So you don't spend maybe that much time together because obviously training 10 hours a day is different. But at the end, you are working an 8-hour shift. So you are underwater sharing the stage with these swimmers that at one time we used to compete against each other. So I leave one bubble of the training center to join another bubble that is being a performer in one of the best water shows in the world. So I'm conscious about it too, of knowing how long this bubble is gonna last, but at the same time, like enjoy it while it lasts. So I was actually really fortunate because I was one of the last contracts. Probably a lot of people then started to get, like excited to maybe join, but the reality is there's not many spots because there wasn't many people leaving. So I was one of the lucky ones. COVID happened, and I'm a person that I understands that injuries happens. Obviously you get old with age, and COVID was a way to show me that not always goes as planned because I always imagine, well, I retired from sport. I remember the day I retired that I chose that. And I thought I would choose the day I retire in the show and always imagine it. And then when COVID happened, I was like, well, that was my last show and I never probably thought about, but it's time to move on. So the ocean was calling somehow. Obviously, I'm from Mallorca. So during that period, I just wanted to live by the ocean. So I left Vegas to start again. So it wasn't new because obviously you're nervous because you start over again your life and you're 30 years old. So it's not like, oh, I'm 20. But at the same time, it's like, I done it before. So I'll find my way and I'll see what happens. Definitely. I think like after COVID, like after the retirement of the show, that's when I felt like, okay, this is a retirement from athletics. Like I do feel I was always in shape until that moment. So it didn't really hit until, oh well, I have to work out or, now to be in shape because I don't go to work. So yeah, but for the physical part, it definitely was that time that it hit me back in 2020. And for the mental, I was already kind of prepared, like, okay, let's start from zero. I have savings, like I'm being smart on that. So I have time to figure out what to do next. I am grateful the way my personality is, like the way I am, that you just think that you will figure out. But because I understand and I know from other athletes how hard it was just when you leave the sport, the sport life. So I was really conscious about it, but no support system, just me. So it's tough, but emotionally I would say more calm. Like, okay, I have an advantage of time. Nothing is happening with COVID, so I have time to figure out and see. And if the show reopens, then I can decide if I want to go back or I want to stay here. So I feel more calm than the first time, more experienced too, because by the time I was 24 years old, and I felt I had to do whatever everyone was telling me that it was study, and now I'm like, well, now I know I can just find my way. I did yoga certification. I coach club teams, so synchronized swimming. I done actually work for marketing for LA 2028 for the Olympics. That was amazing timing too. And then I do coach private swim lessons. And the most important, I'm a mom now. And I feel that was the most challenging for me, but the most beautiful too. So I feel like I tried a lot of things. Obviously, the mom I would say is the hardest, but the most rewarding. Not really. I mean, I feel like always like as an athlete, what they say like once an athlete, always an athlete. So I still feel like, oh, that was not long ago, especially the show. Obviously, the sport, yes, it feels like a long time ago. But for the show, actually, a month ago, one of my friends from the show came, and we still did the choreography together. And it's just such an amazing feeling, like to be sharing again, like pool underwater, with someone that you had that connection. It's like, it hasn't been that long, so I still remember the choreography. So I guess like until that, it doesn't feel that long ago. I do miss the feeling of performing. It's true that there's some gigs here in California, here and there, that I could join if I want. Obviously, it's harder, with scheduling, but I know that I can always do it if I want to, and I really, really miss it. I miss the feeling of the team, of like every night, like you go to work and it's not an office, there's no computers. It's like you do your makeup, you warm up together, and you just do 2 shows a night. It's actually kind of a dream job for, people that probably hears that for the first time. I had so many ideas in my mind, and at the end I would end up with the same. What makes me feel better and with myself is sport and training and obviously swimming and synchronized swimming. But at the same time, since I've been a mom, I did realize a few things, that how I had such a birth, postpartum, pre-birth, because I was training the whole time. So I'm thinking of getting a few certifications to probably help other moms, to just basically have a smooth experience and those workouts that you need at the beginning, but you cannot do a normal workout, you know. So I felt frustrated for a long time because it's hard to recover on your body. So I want to focus more on that part, you know, still swimming every time I can and still doing synchronized swimming, but focus more on that part of since I've been a woman too and I know the struggle. So let's see if I can get there on that. It's not like I have more credibility, but nowadays there's so many people, right, that we can follow on social media and you don't even know where are they coming, and some of them probably are certified, but as an Olympian, and not just because I'm an Olympian, but because of the hours that you put on your sport, I know my body so well that I feel that I have advantage on that. Obviously, I basically recognize what's good and not good for my body. So I just want to help others to kind of feel the same. So many values that I put to work every day, and sometimes you don't realize. But obviously, it's super important to have a goal because I remember back in the pool when we had a goal, but it was really distant because a season can get really long. We used to try to find short time goals. So in life, the same, trying to find short time goals because otherwise you lose focus. I love teamwork. I love the communications, the perseverance, and the consistency. Like if I'm not consistent, then I mean like either I'm not that interested or, you know, so I try to find something that it really makes me keep that consistency. Fast learning. I remember, I think that's a really good quality in our sport. Like you are able to change in 1 second, you know, a choreography is a movement, a count that you need to change, and high pressure. I would say that high pressure, I love high pressure. Somehow I work better. I'm really competitive, so I love that my husband is too. So even if it's a run, and now it's just timing who runs faster. And I guess that I think that's good qualities. So many little projects, but I love to see how actually I think it helped me to evolve and just be where I am today. I'm really proud even of the ups and downs, you know, because I understand more what I want now, and obviously I have a family too, and I think it's a beautiful thing to combine. The number one, I would say, take care of your body because I've been to two hip surgeries, and definitely like it's something that it really demotivates you because if you can avoid those big breaks with the surgery, it definitely makes your career smoother. And then you have to trust your coach. I mean, obviously, it has to be a good coach, someone that you really feel the connection. But I remember those moments where we doubt it. It really consumes time, energy from yourself. You can hate a coach as much as you want because I remember like, oh my gosh, do I have to do all these today? Like 8 hours training. But I knew that the result was coming later. I was like, okay, do I have to go through this? So you just need to make sure you trust your coach and you take care of yourself. And enjoying it too, because at the end the medal is just like what I have in my memory is more those trainings and those images that pull for myself, you know, and somehow imagining that then I'm gonna have people like screaming our names and like, you know, cheering for us. So actually those moments is the one that matters, the training, the process, because the competition goes like this. And what it matters is the whole year of how you choose to enjoy it or live it. There's no shortcuts, you know. So for the people that is trying to get shortcuts, there's no shortcuts in sports.